What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my own review of the Bell Collective and Heart and Hustle Houston. But I don't want to spend too much time on Bell Collective because it wasn't that much. I mean, the entirety of the episode centered around Matt and Keri because they make it to Atlanta. They see their rooms. Keri is not happy with her room, which she has the right to not be happy with her room because Latrice did give her the damn utility closet. I mean, it is literally a wall and a futon. They don't have their own bathrooms. They don't have their own little dressers. They have nothing to put their clothes away. It's just like the freaking supply closet that Harry Potter lived in when he was under the stairs. Like, it's really like not an accommodating space. So, majority of the episode, you got Keri going back and forth, doing the most, for one, being rightfully upset, but also in the same point in time, trying to argue with Matt about how they should take one for the team. No, Matt had every right to call the Marriott, book a reservation, and head over there. Hence why he drove his own car, so that way, if things are not going to work out well and what he would like it to work out, he's going to go where he can be comfortable. He's going to go where he can feel the accommodations. Because he said, I've worked too hard to not be comfortable when I'm traveling. I ain't got time for this shit, whether I'm taking one for the team or not, okay? And even though this weekend is supposed to be about celebrating Selena and Mike, we did do that. They had a great night out at a club called V12. The owner is very good friends with Latrice. They had their own private section to celebrate their nuptials. There were bottle girls. There were lights everywhere. Big carve out photos of Mike and Selena, congratulating them. A very nice time out. This is also a chance for Letitia and Glenn to be back on the same page. But this is the same cycle they've done before. Okay? And you know what? I feel like Keri, while you're trying to take one for the team because you want to prove to these girls that you could be a part of this group, I don't know why you trying so hard to impress them. I don't know why. And that's the reason why she was doing the most on trying to say, let's just take one for the team. You know, they're going to say we not down for it. They're going to say we're doing this, we're doing that. We're being a bit much. We're being a bit bougie. It's not being bougie if I have the means to go and find somewhere else to sleep, because this is not a bed. This is not a room. And you know what Matt said? I don't know why Keri thinks it's okay to be disrespected because I feel disrespected. I gotta agree because Latrice did give you a shitty room on purpose, Keri. And you thought you can laugh that off? No. You really need to address it. Why did I get this kind of room? What the fuck did I ever do to you? For real, for real. Because again, the room that Keri gave Latrice and Letitia were way better than that little utility closet you trying to give them. Okay? And Matt definitely has a right to feel disrespected. Definitely has a right to be upset. But Keri definitely took it a step further to create her own separate issue with her husband. Especially with the way that she wants everyone to be on her team about how she took them for the team, but they are agreeing with how Matt feels and why he should be understood and supported, because he actually slept in the same bed with you. He actually slept in that small ass futon with you and did not go to the Marriott like he wanted to. So he did show up for you. He did take one for the team for you. He did. And yet you're still trying to have an issue with him because you want to be the one that got the understanding. You want to be the one that got the, yay, Keri, we're so proud of you. Because you still want to feel that acceptance from everybody else, which I don't understand why. So, you know, the night went well. It's the next morning, you know, coming off of sleeping in that small ass room. Then we got the breakfast fiasco. Letitia drowning sausage in oil when sausage make their own grease, deep fried sausage. By the time Selena got to the kitchen to really cook, there was no oil left because she put it all in the damn sausage. Get out of the kitchen, Letitia. So Keri is still picking and poking at Matt, trying to get a rise out of him because she wants somebody else to pay attention to what she's been dealing with. Nobody's doing that. They're all pretty much on Matt's side. She don't like that. Then she just walks away. And they were like, oh my God, Keri, you are really mad. What's wrong with you? Latrice tries to have her own one-on-one with Keri. Keri is recognizing that she might have misplaced anger, and it's not Matt. She just wishes that Matt would pretty much take over what she's been dealing with, you know, because she's waking up with multiple emails regarding her business. We all know Brick and Spoon have not been working out well. She couldn't find a potential buyer. She might have to close the doors in less than a week, and then while closing down that business, she's going to be met with multiple bills in order to pay it off, and she don't want to deal with that. Like, it could literally be us losing over hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I just really cannot have that. So I'm trying to figure out other ways for us to not be met with that type of bill. And she's feeling like she's doing it all by herself. She is not receiving that emotional support from her husband because she wants him to pretty much help her come up with other ways. Don't just say, well, there's always this other side of the rainbow, happy go lucky, reading out the back of a fortune cookie, like everything's gonna be okay. She don't want to deal with that. You too busy looking at the bright side. I need you to be here emotionally with me. I'm holding on to every single thing, and it just came out. It just blew it up. And she is using Matt as a punching bag, and she's not talking to her husband like she should. And this is just a very tough space in her marriage right now because she's dealing with her mother-in-law, dealing with her business, and trying to have it all put together and try to have it all be manageable with her husband on her side, but she's not feeling like her husband's on her side. And I guess also maybe constantly being reminded about what she believes Matt might want from her, which is to be the traditional Susie homemaker type of wife, but that's never been her. I cannot jump from what I'm used to be that. All I can do is think like a CEO, but maybe you need to be a little bit more softer and be a little bit more vulnerable with him, because I feel like Matt has your best interest at heart, Keri. I don't think he wants to change you. I just think he wants you to have a better way of addressing things that stresses you out. That's what I think. Then, recognizing that Matt and Keri have been together since the 90s. Latrice want to say, do you guys think y'all could be growing apart? And that's where the episode ends. First of all, Keri, I wouldn't be talking to Latrice about nothing pertaining to my marriage. Because you got to recognize, we have not been in on Latrice when it comes to her marriage with Cliff. I can't say since the first part of the season or last season. Like, they have kept their situation under wraps where we cannot be all in their business. Same with Glenn and Letitia. You are not the next couple to have your marriage be ridiculed and nitpicked and prodded, because you do not have the same type of issues that Latrice have with Cliff, Letitia has with Glenn. You don't have those problems. You don't. And I don't want you to say anything that could be used against you, because I think you and Matt have a whole different marriage than them. Your marriage is definitely based off of you and him both putting in the work on staying together. You guys both treat each other like equals. You guys are both supporting each other when it comes to y'all careers. I just think that you're in a very stressful time right now, and you're not really expressing it the right way. All right, I think that's what it is, and I don't think they're growing apart. Like I said, I follow Keri, and she's always showcasing how much she loves Matt. She's always showcasing how she's happy with her family. So I don't think that they're growing apart at all. This is just a very tough time in her relationship, very tough time in her business. That's it. That's all. But yeah, that was the end of that episode. The end of what I can deduce. We all know in the next upcoming episode, Matt and Keri are going to try to have a heart-to-heart to understand the stress that she's under and how she should manage that stress. But let's segue. Let's move on over to Heart and Hustle Houston. Y'all. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, hopefully after this episode, we are over and done with the precious comment. I'm so serious right now. I want to be done with this. I really do. Okay. Let's start this off with Manera. Manera sets up for them to go to another restaurant so they can have another sit down so they could discuss for the 100th fucking time about this precious comment and any other drama that has been happening. That's been happening in this group. And I'm so over this. I'm so over this, y'all. It's not even funny. I'm over this shit, okay? Chloe walks into the restaurant. You can tell by her face she's drained. She's defeated. She says she's tired of this shit. She don't want to have no more conversations. She don't harp on things. She lets things go. But Chloe, I do believe that because you don't want to dwell on the part you played, you don't want to have the conversation. You don't want to admit that you did say something that could have affected somebody. And I think you should self-reflect on that. So Manera comes in. She said, listen, I wanted us to have a conversation because I feel like we got to move on from things. She thought that last night when they were at Ashley's date night that everything went fine, but don't know how everything got left. Everything went left. Manira, I'm recognizing that you are oblivious sometimes. It's like you're here, but you're not here. Because I don't see how you don't know how things went left at date night when Labrina and Ashley were pretty much both questioning Chloe about how she's so messy, how is she carrying back bones, and that led to Chloe walking out and being frustrated. How did you not see that? Okay, so we're bringing up the Precious comment that Manira thought everybody understood that she was the one who brought it up because she couldn't remember the actresses' names. I'm Tori. I'm Roe. What do you mean it was you, Manira? How was it you started the conversation when it made it seem as if Chloe was the one who brought the conversation in a messy way and that Labrina was the one who said the Precious comment? Now it's you? Manira, you didn't say nothing when we were at the therapy session. Let's say cut that part out because it wasn't understood that you were the one who initiated the conversation. Why did you not say it then when we could have already had this over and done with before then? Why are we still down this road to wonder who said what, who said what? I'm tired of this shit. So, okay, you initiated, okay, and then it was said that it was positive. Chloe said it wasn't positive. And I'm happy Chloe took accountability and admitted that it wasn't positive. And they were like, no, it wasn't, it was. I'm like, oh God, please somebody come with the real receipt so we can get this over with. So, the production said, do you want to see the actual conversation? Yes, please. So all the ladies got the iPad and they all saw what happened. Let me see if I can break this down play by play. So we got Manira saying she could not remember the actress's name because she looks like somebody that's familiar. Chloe said Gabrielle Sidibe. Brina was the one who said the one that played off Monique. The one who played off Monique. Then she said, what was the actress name again? Gabrielle Sidibe. Then Labrina asked Chloe, who did she play off Monique? She said Precious. Then Labrina asked again, what did she play off again? She played Precious. So she asked the question twice. And then once she said it, Labrina kept saying Precious. And Chloe said, why are you saying it so loud? When that happened, about how many times Labrina had to ask who was the actress's name and what did she play on, for her to say it to the point where Chloe had to say, why are you saying it so loud? That was messy. That was shady. Then they both agreed that the girl was beautiful. She's pretty. Then Labrina is ending the conversation saying, oh, Precious. Your Precious is really pretty. Precious got good energy. That was the entire conversation. So while looking at the whole entire ordeal, Roe called Chloe the master manipulator because finding out that she was the one who told Chloe and said it in a malicious way wasn't cool. Okay, I can see how that can make Roe feel away. Tori said, I think they were all in the wrong because they all entered the conversation and they all should be accountable because somebody's feelings were hurt. And I agree. It doesn't matter. Everybody was in the wrong. Chloe said she apologized to Tori. She said, if it's what I said, because I laughed, that wasn't right. But if I said it, I'm sorry. There's no ifs when you are apologizing, okay? But then Labrina was the one that said nobody's in the wrong. But then she started to cry in her confessional and saying, the girl who was affected, I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve this. I'm like, Labrina Cap, I'm sorry, not sorry. But I felt like that display of Labrina feeling upset and mad about what happened, I feel like she's just trying to not look bad because she was a part of the conversation. Because at least she needs to admit she was a part of the conversation. She is literally running away from not being a part of the conversation. So Tori and Roe were like, I'm done. We need to be done with this. We don't need to keep talking about it because I don't know why it keeps on being brought up. Labrina is the one that won't let this go, in my opinion. I've only seen her mention it. I've only seen her being pressed about it. I haven't seen Chloe talk about this anymore. So to me, it's more so Labrina. Because I feel like Labrina doesn't want to take the heat for something that she was a part of. She wants it all to be on Chloe. But that's dead. This was last year. Let's please leave this alone. Rose said, let's focus on the issue between Labrina and Chloe because there is something going on there. So, this is when we get to Chloe being called messy. All right? So, when Labrina calls Chloe messy, Chloe said, well, you're a mean girl. And when I tell you, Labrina was so upset by being called a mean girl, she couldn't fathom that she was called a mean girl. The amount of energy that Labrina had about being called a mean girl was so loud to me. And then she said, girl, but you're messy because nobody likes you. And that's why nobody wants to be around you. This is why. I was like, damn, Labrina. It sounds to me she hit a nerve. Then here comes Ashley asking her, well, what do you mean? What makes her a mean girl? So Chloe said, first of all, I don't need you to be her spokesperson. I'm talking to Labrina. And then here go Ashley. Why are you being mean to me? Well, what's going on? How is she being mean to you, Ashley, when she's telling you, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Labrina. Labrina could defend herself. If she don't like that I called her a mean girl, then she can defend the fact she's not a mean girl. You're coming in that it looks as if you're caping for your friend to not be held accountable because I believe, Ashley, you know the things that Labrina has done. But you're trying to come in, take the heat from her, take the heat off her, and come in and throw it back on Chloe. Because it sounds to me you was antagonizing her when you want to say, but why are you saying that? Why are you being mean to me? Listen, we are grown-ass women. If we cannot have a conversation without everybody being so sensitive about certain words that should not mean big things and it should not raise a certain like behavior, like if we can't have a conversation where we say things and we can't go back and forth, then we're not grown adults. Because I feel like we're harping on this one thing that Chloe is saying, but we're not getting to the result. Ashley came in and tried to stop that because she's trying to protect Labrina, in my opinion. And then when it came down to what makes her a mean girl, she said, well, because of what you did last night. About me, what? When I called you a bone collector, I called you messy, something of the line she said. And she said, I said this because you did say that though. You see Labrina picking it back off and addressing her for her own separate problem. And then you see Ashley and Labrina kind of going back and forth with coming at Chloe. And, excuse me, Chloe said, listen, a messy person would have called the person that you are trying to talk about has a wall up in front of you at that moment. And that's not what I did. She had a separate conversation with Ro about what the things that Ashley said. And listen, when it came down to who was called messy, she said, no, I didn't say that. I said you're being a bone collector. You know what? Semantics, Ashley. It's fucking semantics. Then to say you got me and Labrina mixed up. She said, no, you guys are two ladies in the same pod, okay? You're two peas in a pod. I don't like the fact that Ashley tried to correct what a messy person is versus a bone collector. It's in the same category, okay? Because you wanted to question how does Chloe knows all the information because y'all give it to her. Same thing. So when it came down to who called her a bone collector, it was based off of what Ro said. And Ro got upset that Chloe cussed her out the night before when she left Ashley's date night. And we didn't even hear what Ro said. She said, you cussing me out, accusing me like I said and said this. You see, you don't understand. You see that's the problem. Like Ro was going off, okay? Because she is feeling like Chloe is going to instantly believe Ashley by saying Ashley said that Ro said this. And you calling me based off what Ashley said. You think that I'm going to talk shit about you to somebody I've only known for 10 minutes and we've been friends for 3 years? Why would you believe that? But we gotta look back on this though, Ro. I feel like when it came down to Ashley meeting up with you to kind of like mend the fence, retry, olive branch everything, Ashley did open that door to wonder, how does Chloe knows everything? Who is telling Chloe all the information? Ashley did not say the words. You gave her a simple word that she could definitely run back and tell Chloe. Because when Ashley said, how does Chloe knows all the information? You said, oh, she's be bone collecting. When you told Ashley that gave Ashley license to go back and tell Chloe what only you said. Ashley did not admit that she brought you up in conversation. She didn't do that. Because I wrote it right here. Ashley Reed tried to double talk, not taking accountability for what she said about you, Ro, and the whole you manage a bar and she owns a bar. She really put that all on Chloe. But because all she needed from you was to give a clear statement about what it is that Chloe does, that's all she brought back to Chloe. She did not mention that she brought Chloe up and wondered why. Because I felt like she threw Roe under the bus by only mentioning what Roe said. And that's why I found it very messy of Ashley to say, I have spoken nothing positive of you. Nobody was talking bad about you. She just said that you're a bone collector. Even though Ashley was the one who opened that door to get that information. I'm sorry. Like, this is another time where Ashley's using her therapy words, being a therapist. She's double talking. She's not really holding herself accountable, that she is the one engaging these conversations, bringing up certain things to get the other ladies to add into it. Because I don't know why y'all not seeing this. Like, I hope I'm not wrong, but I see the setup that Labrina and Ashley, because the way that it was just on Labrina being accountable, that she's being messy as well, and to take the heat off her, we now are throwing it off to Ashley, who always says, I'm always speaking highly of you. Then it got changed when we get Roe, who is mad at Chloe for all the things that she's been doing that's been bothering her. So it's kind of like y'all are not really paying attention to the setup that's happening right here. I said it before. Chloe is messy. Period, point blank. But I don't think that Chloe is this horrible of a person that you guys are not really looking past on. You see what I'm saying? And Chloe is definitely triggered. She's definitely guarded. And she's tired of it. When it came down to Chloe being accountable for what she might have said, Chloe wants to know, then why is Labrina so upset? Why is she so irritable? And that's when Labrina wants to put all the blame on Chloe in regarding the on my level comment, the lemon drop comment. I said, hold up, wait a minute. Labrina, no. You said you were the birdie that went and told Ashley about what you perceived that Tori might have meant of being upset to having to pay for a $22 lemon drop, that you said in your confessional, girl, grow up. If you can't afford it, that's your problem. And the on my level comment, Chloe had nothing to do with that. Did she bring it back? Because you said it in front of everybody. And to me, I'm still standing on the fact that you meant what you said. So, Labrina, we cannot place all this blame on Chloe of the mess she started when you started your own mess. Let's not forget, you started your own mess when you brought Josh over to your house to give him license to talk about Elaina, who you still have not said anything to. You're speaking about it to everybody else but Elaina. The lemon drop, you gave that to Ashley so she can have a proper entrance into the show and into the group. The on my level comment, that came out of your mouth that everybody heard. Okay. Okay. Labrina's please. So as far as them going back and forth, Labrina wants to tell Chloe, just own the shit. Chloe said, you own the shit. I was like, ooh. My goodness. Then to say Chloe's been going back and forth talking to both groups. She's causing division. I was like, my God, today. To say she's controlling the narratives and everything, I was like, wow, Labrina. To me, she was putting a lot of emphasis on placing all this blame on Chloe, when Labrina, you've been messy yourself. Just as messy. But Tori comes in to defend Chloe by saying, I haven't seen this messy side of Chloe. She speaks highly about everybody. Let's not make it seem as if she's the only one that's doing this. Let's not make it on a pile on, like this is all on Chloe. Because we are part of this group. We're all guilty of running back and telling each other what's been said about one another. Agreed. And then Chloe wants to say she's spoken highly about Labrina throughout all the things that Labrina has been saying about her, who she's been hearing when it comes to things about Chloe. And then Labrina gets upset because he feels like that's fake, because how are you going to tell me you speak highly of me, but yeah, you're talking about all the things that you think I've done to you, and you still be around me, you want to root for me? Like, that's fake as fuck. I don't know. I guess I'm weird. Because if Chloe wants to look past all the shit that you have particularly have been doing to her, all the shit you've been talking about when it comes to her, who you've been listening when it comes to her, because I didn't forget, in the beginning of this season, Labrina says she was told by somebody to say that she should not trust Chloe and how she was a scammer. We did not get an understanding about who told Labrina that. So I feel like Labrina is now acting on what she was told to isolate Chloe, in my opinion. Because I need to know, what did Chloe do to Labrina that got her so upset? Other than watching the way that Labrina has been just as messy as Chloe, is she irritated that she's going to receive that same treatment when she gets exposed about how messy she's doing, so she wants to make sure Chloe gets it before she does? I have no idea. Because Labrina was mad. When I say mad, she was mad. Okay? Labrina was doing the most. She stood up, was trying to give an example about, I speak highly of you, but you a mean girl. And then, while she's doing the most, Chloe said, okay, girl, you're doing a lot. She said, I'm not doing enough, is what I'm not doing. Like, I don't understand the way that Labrina had that whole scene of doing a lot, getting upset. She's crying all over the place. Like, what you crying for? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So, trying to get a calmness and how we can move on from this. Chloe was like, listen, Labrina, you're doing the same she did to Tori. Okay, you want to bring up things, you want to move forward, but you want to keep on pointing at what Chloe is doing, but you keep doing the same shit as well. Like, it's just, Labrina gets extremely bothered when it comes to Chloe. Chloe was not even reacting the same way Labrina was. She was chill. But we got to agree, disagree. She was like, no, the best thing for me to do is to remove myself. That's what Chloe said. Chloe, you ain't going nowhere. But then Labrina was like, girl, bye, sayonara, nobody wants you here. I really need to know what is going on between Labrina and Chloe. What is the issue? What is the tea? Like, what got Labrina so mad and angry over what Chloe did? I just need to understand something. But when I tell you, that was like so much to dissect and so much to like pay attention to, and I'm just like over it. Like, I get it, y'all. Y'all trying to show us a little bit of drama on this new show, but I don't want it to be centered around this. I need to know more about what these ladies got going on, and we're too busy focused on little petty drama. But we're moving on. Okay, we got Roe and Javon. They're at their first counseling session with Miss Sylvia, pertaining to their daughter Chloe. They have different ways of navigating parenting styles and trying to co-parent in a more balanced way. And Javon got a whole lot going on. Okay, turns out he has a total of 5 children. So when it comes to him spending time with his children, it's different when it comes to Sophia. Apparently he gets his kids every summer, but having Sophia, he has to relearn her all over again, and that is a bit of a challenge. So to me, hearing that he has to relearn Sophia by the time she is around him for the summer, I need to understand, what does that mean? Does that mean that you really don't spend any time with your daughter throughout the year? And when it comes to spending a month with her, you don't know anything about her? So do you not call and check in throughout the year? Do you not call and check in to wonder what's going on with her? Do you make any trips down to Houston to spend time with her before the summer? Because relearn is interesting to me. And then when it comes to his other children, they have a whole different kind of relationship because they see him often. They're in Miami with him. And then we're discussing her attitude problem. So we got to figure that part out. So as far as, him trying to create a better relationship with her, it needs to be consistent. So he doesn't see her consistently as he does with his other children, and wanting her to have her own alone time with him, because she doesn't get that from the rest of her siblings. Then as far as like him not really understanding why he need to be more consistent with her when it comes to his children, it said it plain as day, Javon. Like Ro told you, you have more of a better time being consistent with your other children because they live in the same place with you. They live in Miami. You're able to schedule alone times with them, schedule times where they're all coming together way better than you are with Sophia. Houston, Miami, 2 different places, 2 different time zones. You have to actually make an effort to want to have the same amount of relationship with her as you do with your other children. Then he want to make an excuse about, oh, well, I'm going to be her father for the rest of her life. I have plenty of time to be part of her life. No. Don't use because you're her father, you're gonna always be around. But if you're not making an effort to really be there, then you're gonna miss out on all of those good moments with her, because she's not gonna be 13 forever. She's not gonna be this age forever. She's going to grow up, and this is a very critical time for a young girl to grow up, and she needs her father in those moments, because to not have her father in those critical times of her being a teenager will be memories missed out, certain situations to be understood, things she's gonna learn within herself, learn within you. Like, you gotta be there for those crucial moments, though. You know what I'm saying? And recognizing this is a pivotal time in her life, because Miss Sylvia tells him, you're her first love. You're the first man that ever loved her. And you need to be consistent in that relationship. He does defend the fact that he doesn't live in the same city, but his parenting doesn't mean he have to plan to see your child every month. Or is that Miss Sylvia? I feel like my notes got messed up. But you can start off with phone calls. You can start off with calling her a couple of times throughout the week. You can't create a transition into being a part of her life if you're having phone conversations, FaceTime calls, meetups. You can make it work. But then he mentions that whenever he is trying to establish a more consistent relationship with her through her phone has been restricted because she's been getting into trouble. Roe has been taking her phone from her, and as well as the way he talks to her, she blocks him from her phone. And Roe even says you really don't call her for any other reasons other than her behavior. You don't call her to wonder what's going on with her school. You don't call her about her grades. You don't even call her to wonder of her schedule for school. Like, you don't come up with those basic requirements to be aware about what your child is going through and what your child is doing and what interests she might have had. Like, if you were just showing up on a regular basis to just wonder about those things about your daughter, I wouldn't have to block you. Period. So he said, I understand it's not just her behavior. It is not what I do to discipline her. You don't just check in as her dad. That's the whole point. So looking at the history between Roe and Javon, right? They have bumped heads a lot. And she said, I have to block you for my own sense of sake of peace, because I have a lot going on in my work life, personal life. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to fight with her father. I don't want to do that. So when they had Sophia move away from them to go into the other waiting areas, they can have their own separate conversation about their relationship, because they have to be in a better space, because they know each other very well, and they have to be cool when it comes to co-parenting Sophia. Then Javon decides to give himself a pity party because he feels like he doesn't do enough financially, because he wants to make it seem as if the men that Roe has had makes more money than he did. And she was like, do you feel that dig? Do you feel that dig? So it's like, you want to throw it in my face that I have had other relationships with other men that were financially stable, and you acted as if that's all I want from you. I don't want you to just show up because you got money. And like she said, I wanted to have your baby because you were smart as hell. I respect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had your baby for a reason. And there were other men that I was with that I did not want to have a baby by. I wanted to have your baby because you was my best friend. You know what I'm saying? And because when they got together, she definitely talked about when they were together, he was rich. He was a millionaire. But then he lost all of that. But that's not all she is expecting from him. Even what she know he would have done if he did have the money. I swear, men always do that. They always like to self-deprecate and talk bad about themselves to believe that they cannot show up because they don't have the means that they used to. You being there is enough. And being a father, you don't need to have a monetary goal or a monetary need to act like you need to do more because you have the means. No. Do enough. You see what I'm saying? Like she said, as she was crying, you are my best friend. I trusted you. You are my first real relationship. And it wasn't because you flew me out, you bought me furs, you bought me diamonds. It wasn't because you had the money. It was because I was in love with you. I fell in love with you. You being an amazing person. You always there for everybody. That's why. And when I tell you Javon was crying, he was crying. Because I felt like he probably wasn't hearing that. And he probably felt like he didn't hear what he was doing well at, because he probably is used to hearing what he isn't doing well at. And that's not what Roe want to do. Like, I don't want to come down on what you're not doing. Like, I just want to talk to you on how you could do better. So they're both crying. They both say I love you to one another. And she said, I don't expect for you to do what you used to do because you used to be a millionaire. All I want you to do is just show up. That's it, that's all. Okay? I know you take care of everybody and I respect that out of you. So just do that to your daughter. You know what I'm saying? And if I have been telling you what you're not doing, that's because I was being a bitch. I was being upset. I was in my feelings. I know you can do more. But you don't just give up because of what I said. Still fight. Still show up. Be consistent. Okay? Like, be a father. Alright? Excuse me. No matter what I say, that shouldn't stop you from doing what you're supposed to do, which is be a father. And she also said to Javon, I'm not the same 20-something-year-old girl you knew way back in the day. Like, I'm grown. I've taken accountability. I've changed my life. I've become a whole different person. So I'm here. I'm still here. I want us to be better. I want us to be how we used to be. I want us to be good. All right? And when they hugged, it was a nice hug. And it showcased how they have a lot of history with one another. They have a lot to have learned about one another, and they might have been focusing on how they used to be in the past, and they're not forgiving each other for it. Now again, the history between them, I don't know if there could be a door for them to restart what they lost all those years ago, or it could be just a way for them to be back friends again, because that's what I'm getting. And it's heartwarming to see them get to this space and their dynamic. Like, it's a lot of love between them, because it does show she did love this man once upon a time, and she wants him to be better for the sake of his daughter and for the sake of their friendship. I love it. Shout out to Roe. Shout out to her. So then we got Labrina, Tori, Ashley, and Roe. They're all meeting up at this restaurant, talking about Chloe, talking about what's going on with her, why is she going around telling everybody else's business. Labrina being the main one, talking about there's a division in this group and that Chloe was calculating. She knew how to get the division going on in this group. And I'm just like, I wouldn't say she was calculated though, Labrina. And I wouldn't say that she wanted to cause division in this group. Then she want to talk about when they had their therapy session, how Chloe was the main one talking, the main one starting stuff. But then I see the flashback. All I see is Labrina telling Latorria she needs help. She needs therapy. Chloe's on the opposite side of the couch, not saying much. And again, I don't know if they cut certain things out about what Chloe might have said or not have said in that therapy session. But Labrina, you were the main one talking, the main one getting mad, the main one getting loud. So what are you trying to say? It's like the emphasis on trying to put everything on Chloe is just mind-boggling to me. So then Latorria wants to apologize to Latorria yet again about how stuff kept being brought up and everything in between. So then Latorria mentions how it was her dad's birthday when they had that dinner. And she's realizing she's been celebrating her dad's birthday dealing with a whole bunch of chaos. And then out of the blue, she's crying. And then Chloe tells her, stop all that fucking crying. First of all, where the hell did that come from? Why would Chloe just say that? Then, turns out, Chloe did not know what Latorria was crying for. It could be Chloe misinterpreting that Latorria was crying for how much there's so much going on in the group without realizing she was crying because she misses her father. So, when we also discover after they met at Rafa's, which was the restaurant they had that last meeting, Ashley invited them out to her bar, kind of like a woo-saw, let's regroup, and then at the end of that evening, Latorria ended up having a seizure and she fell down the steps and she hit her head. They called the ambulance. She appreciates everybody being there for her, calling for help. She realizes that it was her stress that caused her seizure because she's been dealing with so much at work. She's been trying to sell her father's home and going through grief by herself. Taking over her father's estate has been a lot. Then she even said, I don't even know if Chloe knew that I was sick. I don't even think she knew what I was dealing with that caused me to fall. Then when it came down to her saying that Chloe turned on her, I wrote, how could you say your friend turned on you if she wasn't even aware you had a nasty fall? And Rose said she wouldn't even care anyway. Okay, so you're just cutting it off as if she didn't care? Like this can't be fixed? And I don't think you should be addressing anything regarding how you feel about what Chloe might have done to you in front of Labrina. I don't know, Latorria. I felt like that wasn't the right space for you to tell them that. And I don't know how long it took for you to even want to address Chloe, because Chloe was not aware of what was said and done in regards to how she made you feel. I don't know. I don't know. Something was iffy about that to me. But I guess you have to get it off your chest. But you getting off your chest around the wrong group of people. And that's Ashley and Labrina, in my opinion. So then they talk about Elaina. Has anybody seen Elaina? Because that was the first restaurant that they had the first part of this season. And Labrina says she talks to Elaina here and there, through DMs and Instagram. Rose said, I mean, we be going out, you know what I'm saying? She's single and all that kind of stuff. Here go Ashley. Oh, I thought she was married. Oh, she separated? Yeah, she separated. Then here comes Labrina. When I tell you Labrina was itching to talk about this. So she said that Will and Josh had a conversation, and to say how when he spoke to them, there's two sides to every story. That's what Labrina is opening the conversation with. So listening to what Will said to Josh and what Josh told Will is that Josh pretty much had a handle in creating Elena's makeup line. It was all on him. He handled the infrastructure, he handled the taxes, and all she did was do the makeup. She was the talent. Not even mentioning that he lost all the money, no, but also wanted to add in, because he didn't have a voice, this is why he did what he did. Give him license, give him the okay, that's what he did. And pretty much painting the picture that he did everything he was supposed to do to take care of his family and take care of his children. And for whatever reason, not mention or not even, bring up the fact that he did make a mistake, but want to say it was one mistake that he made so long ago. And then how he said that she cheated on him last year. And she was like, what? So Ro was like, wait, was there any current cheating going on? And then Labrina want to say, no, not from him. Because that's when it got revealed that Josh believes that Elaina cheated on him last year. And they're like, oh, Lord, help us all. But my thing is this, though, y'all. Do y'all not believe this is messy of Labrina to mention information that she wants to now not put herself in, to say she heard from Will because Will spoke to Josh? No, Labrina. You spoke to Josh. I didn't see Will chime in maybe once or twice. You pretty much added a lot of opinions, added your 2 cents in this entire conversation when it came down to wondering what was going on with Josh and Elaina. But to remove you like you weren't there for the conversation is insane to me. But y'all not going to say this is messy of Labrina to bring up Elena's business when Elaina doesn't even know that she's being talked about like this. Oh, okay, sure. Again, I don't think it was her place to cast judgment or share opinions about something that she isn't even aware of. You know what I'm saying? So Ro was like, first of all, it doesn't even matter because he cheated, he stole. So if she cheated, it doesn't even matter. And you know what? Black women don't cheat. And I agree with Ro. Okay? Because let's not act like what he did was something we should just look past and be like, oh, well, it's because he didn't have an outlet. He didn't have nobody to talk to. That's bullshit. No. That's cap and bullshit in my opinion, because how do you just write off what he did and put all the focus on what Elaina might have did when we just hearing the word of Josh? Because Josh is in his feelings right now because he doesn't have his family. The family that he lost of the shit that he did. And Labrina, male-centered ass, only wants to give grace to Josh but not give an understanding when it comes to Elaina. Really? Okay. So they find out that Elena's going to Chloe's Valentine's event. Almost everybody except for Ashley is not going. Labrina said, I don't care. Girl, whatever. Tori and Roe were back and forth about, oh, I'm just so uneasy. I don't know if I should go or not. Roe was like, listen, I haven't thought about going since she cussed me out, and she hasn't reached out, even though I haven't reached out as well. And Latorria was like, listen, it's okay to say it hurts. because she just cannot believe that Chloe displayed herself at that dinner and that's not her friend. So there could be something else going on with Chloe, which I do agree. I do agree there could be something else going on with Chloe that we're just not paying attention to. We're just not seeing. Like, what else is going on with Chloe? So we're at Chloe's event. It's at a love club, and it is a gorgeous event. Oh my God, everything was decked out beautifully. Shout out to Chloe. I will say, Chloe might be going through a lot with this relationship with Jordan that she shouldn't be in, and not really being a real friend, but she puts on an amazing event. All right. Ashley came in, and Ashley said the one thing that Chloe knows how to do is run a lavish event. Now she's there for two reasons. One, she's there because she bought a Valentino dress, and two, she wants to get into Chloe's headspace because she believes that the way that Chloe displayed herself is not the person that she knows she should be. Even though I feel like Ashley wants to be present in every single scene. She's new on the show. She doesn't want to be iced out on the show. She doesn't want to be faded. She wants to be present in every single situation she could be a part of. Okay? So Chloe came in. She sees Roe. I don't know how this hug happened. It's almost like she hugged her, but Roe didn't want to hug her, or Roe wanted to hug her, Chloe didn't hug her. Either way, Chloe took Roe to the side, okay, so they can have a conversation, because she believes that Roe and Tori are mad at her, but she also says she didn't feel like her friends were there for her. Like, they didn't defend her, because she was really mad. Like, my friends are not speaking on my behalf. They're not defending me. But this is where Chloe is not aware of what took place, because she's so angry and she's so mad. She's not paying attention that Roe really did not say nothing against you. She was just addressing about what you made her feel, and you're not listening. And Tori did have your back when she talked about we should not pile on Chloe when we've all done our part of going back and telling our friends what's being said. You see what I'm saying? And to say that, she was angry, she didn't want to hear nothing because she wasn't feeling what was going to make her feel better, but she has to work on that. Glad you know. And Roe called her about how you were so angry, you were so triggered, you weren't even listening. Tori came in, she was also conflicted with, the news of her coming off of a seizure, wondering, should I even be here? Should I even come? But Chloe's my friend, and I really care about her, and I want to know how we can fix this. Chloe sees Tori. She hugs her and says, I miss y'all. I know y'all mad at me. And again, she felt like nobody defended her at the table. Nobody was standing up for her. I've already repeated myself. Chloe, you were being defended. You just didn't want to listen because it wasn't what you wanted to hear. It wasn't what you wanted to see. And then to say, I felt like I was getting attacked. And Tori said, I've been attacked for 6 months. You see what I'm saying? So I get it, okay? But I would never say hurtful things, and I don't know. I just feel like this wasn't the right time and space to have this conversation, because it's too many emotions. It's at Chloe's event. Chloe brought them over there, but it wasn't the right time. So when it came down to Tori addressing the things that were hurtful, she said, oh, when I told you to stop all that crying. Yeah, and then Chloe laughed. It wasn't cool to laugh. It could be laughing out of nervousness, laugh out of anger, laugh out of irritation. But either way, your friend told you that you said something to hurt her feelings and you're not addressing it. That's not cool. So you weren't taking accountability for that. And then when it came down to crying about her father, I think that Chloe really wasn't paying attention or listening. She said, what do I say about your dad? It wasn't what you said about her dad. It was the fact that Tori was in a moment crying about her father. Once she told you, I was crying about my father because it was his birthday and I was sad. Instead of you saying, I'm sorry, I did not know you were crying about your father. I shouldn't have said stop all that crying. I was irritated and felt like I was not feeling heard of how my feelings were hurt. But I'm very sorry that I did that to you. That's what Chloe did not do. She did not say that. She was ignoring what was said. Then we get to the part where she had a seizure and fell. They call in, wonder if I was okay. Chloe did not know nothing about this, right? But she did say that Ashley was the one who led her in the loop of what was going on. And they were like, why did Ashley have to call and tell you? She's like, I don't know why Ashley had to call and tell me. But y'all need to pay attention. Why did Ashley call Chloe? Did Chloe not want to call them after what took place? Because why would Ashley want to keep her in the loop? And Chloe did not follow through by wondering about her friend herself. So when it came down to Chloe talking about, I've been sad for the past few days and I really did not know what was going on and I got shit, and then Ro pretty much was like, F it, we all got pain, we all got our own shit going on, but we still show up and be there for our friends. Then Chloe was like, don't insinuate that I'm not a good friend. They said, you're not showing up as a good friend. You're not. Like, Chloe, you cannot be this obtuse, you cannot be this ignorant, and you cannot be this selfless that you can't take yourself out of what you got going on to not show empathy and understanding about what your friends got going on. You cannot be this self-absorbed. You cannot. So then she said, let's have another conversation because this is not working out well. I don't know if they cut Chloe off or she cut them off, because it literally was just like a not so good interaction between them that was not working well. It was so cringy to watch. Then they wanted to have a good time and drink. Chloe completely ignored them and met one of her guests and took over that conversation and left them looking around like, what do we do? Where do we go? I was like, Chloe, are you kidding me right now? Like, that wasn't cool, Chloe. At first, I thought she didn't dismiss them. I thought they wanted to walk away and she wanted to still carry the conversation. But I feel like, again, you should not have brought them over to talk about this. You should have been thankful that they came and that y'all gonna set up another time to talk. Because emotions are high. Nobody's listening to one another. That wasn't cool. So then Elaina arrives. Finally, Elaina is in the scene. Finally, she is present and being a part of the show. She's been in a disappearing act for days now. So she's ready to come out, let her hair down, and have a good time. And Roe and Tori are outside, and they see Elaina, and they said, I brought you outside because I pretty much want to tell Elaina what's going on. Tori said, don't you think that's a little bit messy? Well, if it was me, I would want to know before it starts circling around the group. To me, Ro, it's already a little too late, because Labrina had already brought the information to Manera. Which I also feel like, does Manera separate herself on purpose when it comes to information being spread out in the group, and she doesn't want to be confronted by what she already knew? Because I was wondering why wasn't Manera there when they all went out to lunch or dinner or drinks when Labrina spilled the beans about Elaina. I wonder why. So to me, I feel like it was calculated on Labrina to want to make Chloe out to be the messy one, when it got revealed that Labrina is the real messy one. You see what I'm saying? Because I feel like, let's expose one person being messy, so that way when I'm messy, I'm not receiving that same treatment. When I'm not being that messy, when you are in fact being that messy. So Elaina asked the girls, hey, what's going on? What's wrong with y'all? They were very hesitant. They were very nervous about how to tell her this information. So Tori was like, would you like to know something that it pertains to you? Like, no matter what it is, you would like to know about it? She said, yes, I would. No matter what. Yes. So then she tells Elaina, Josh has been meeting up with some of the girls. Don't say some of the girls. Put a name on it. It's been Labrina. Elaina said that doesn't surprise her. But Ro was like, okay, well, I gotta tell you something, but I gotta be close to you. This is some real shit, right? So, apparently, Josh has been addressing things that you guys have had going on. Things that pertains to you are private to the other girls. She said, I have nothing to hide. So, okay, listen. Labrina told us that Will told Josh. Did you know, first of all, Rose said that Labrina told us about how Will and Josh are cool. Are you aware that Josh and Will are cool with one another? Do you know that they hang out with one another? She said, I don't recall anything like that. I don't recall them being cool at all. I don't recall them ever being around one another. The fact that Elaina is finding out that Will and Josh are cool when she has never seen them hang around each other before, as of lately, as of recently, as of ever. Now I'm figuring out it might be some TV shit. Josh set it up for him to want to expose Elaina, and Labrina and Will were the ones who wanted to do it. So as far as what was said, Ro reveals that Josh said he pretty much created your company. He did everything. You know what I'm saying? And then he also said he caught you cheating. Elaina was like, wow, really? And that was pretty much the end of the episode. We all know this upcoming episode, Elaina is going to address Labrina about what was said and how she knows about this and everything in between, which she has the right to. I want to see how Labrina is going to feel when confronted about this. I want to know. Is she going to admit that she never told her when she found out? I want to know how Labrina is going to address this. I really want to know. But whew, this review got long. Only because there was so much that needed to be said and needed to be discussed. And there's been a whole lot being said outside because Chloe, you're not presented to be a good person right now. And I don't think that you're a bad person. I think you are an amazing person. But I do think you're in a stage in your life where you don't know what you want. I feel like you're trying to still fight for love, which you don't have anything to feel sorry for. But Jordan is not the one you need to fight to be in a relationship with. You're not listening to your children when they tell you that they don't really like him. And I feel like you're fighting on what you want, but you don't want what you want to impact on what your kids might feel and how everybody's not going to be happy about your decision. So please listen to the sound of your kids. The saxophones are getting louder about what you need to do when it comes to the situation. But this was cringy to watch. This was heartbreaking to watch when it comes to Roe, Chloe, and Tori being in this space between them. I don't like it at all. But y'all, that's it. That is it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video. I'm see you guys later. Bye.